Hey everybody, Eric Ryle from Q Kettlebell Strength and Conditioning. Today is Workout Tip Tuesday. Instead of writing an email about what I wanted to talk about, I figured a video would be a little bit better of a demonstration, especially since maybe this is a subject where some of you really aren't using these yet. What I'm talking about are Indian clubs. And to me, it's one of the greatest mobility tools. Not that there's not a lot of other great things to do for mobility out there, and they're all really good. What I like about Indian clubs is they're really pretty simple. I know they look very complex when you see, I'm sure a lot of you have seen people online or whatever doing some moves and stuff, but they don't have to be so complex. Those moves are fun, so they keep you learning and they keep you going. So in doing that, you learn, you reap the benefits of mobility. But like I said, it doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be so difficult. I wanted to go just through a couple little basic things with them so that you can put them in to your routine. I recommend putting them in pre-workout, post-workout, and where I've found, probably where I've gotten my best results with Indian clubs have been kind of chunking them off also throughout the day in, you know, maybe a couple minutes here and there, just to, you know, to get a little swinging in, and it pays big dividends, and it's not a big time investment like some of the other things you can do for mobility. Again, I'm not saying, you know, one's better than the other. I'm just saying this is something that maybe you want to try in your routine. So I'm going to go through just a couple basic swings that you can very, very easily put in your routine. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just a couple little things. I'm going to go over a couple little tips, and I don't know if necessarily call them rules, but you know, some of the things that you want to be kind of looking out for. And I'm going to go through most of it. I'm going to go through with one single club. I'm using a 2-pound Rosewater Kinetic club. It's a great club, great swinging club. There's a lot of good clubs out there. You know, that you can use. I highly recommend the company, but maybe if you're just getting started, the Poly clubs are very cheap, and you can get 1 and 2 pound sets online for a really great price, so you can check into them. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just, you know, how I recommend that you hold the club. So we're going to hold the club. We're going to go down to where our ring finger is just against the ball down here, and then my pinky is going to go on the ball. So this is how we're going to be holding this club for the main portion of this. This is what is called the hammer grip, and the other grip that we're going to use in this video is going to be what's called the saber grip. So hammer to saber. So you're going to find that you're going to be changing throughout the swing from one grip to another. So most of, you know, Indian clubs are kind of based off of a couple things. You know, letting the club pull you through. You don't want to muscle the club through the movement. You want to work at nice, smooth, non-jerky swings. And one thing, all the circles, as complex as it all gets, it's kind of based off of, are we starting the swing or the circle going inward? Is it an inward swing? Are you going towards your body? Or is it an outward swing where you're going away from your body? So is it starting inward, or is it starting outward? And things can get more complex from that as you start building different, you know, different swings together, and maybe learning different swings, circles, and stuff like that. But for today, I'm keeping it very simple, and I'm taking it from a point that you have never swung an Indian club before. So it's going to stay pretty simple and something that I recommend that you can put in before workouts just to get that shoulder girdle loose and going. So where we're going to start with the stance I'm going to have you start with. We're going to go about with our feet under our hips and elbow to the side, holding the club in that grip. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with an inward swing, inward pendulum swing, and return to this position. So my first move is I'm going to let the club fall inward, nice and smooth, and coming back to this soft pocket in the order position. Inward swing, inward pendulum swing. And with all this stuff, you can find a lot of different names for these swings, depending what camp that you're going for, but it doesn't really matter. Let the club fall. Let the momentum of the club pull you through the swing. So you can start with this, changing hands. Changing hands can be very simple. Doesn't have to be fancy. It can be changing hands. So from there, we're going to go with an outward swing. So our first move, the club is going to go away from the body. So here we go. So away. Try to work at a little elevation so the club has that momentum. And the club pulls you through. I think of the tip of the club is pulling me through the circle or through this pendulum swing at this stage. So, outward swing, outward pendulum swing, I'm going to call this swing. So when I do another video, and I put a little bit more of a progression on it, you'll know this is where we're starting. This is a great way to start. You'll start feeling your shoulders loosen up. You might hear some clicks and pops. You'll feel it in your wrist. Your wrist will start loosening up. And don't think this is just a shoulder girdle movement. It's not, because look at my whole body is actually moving into this swing a little bit. My knees, everything is getting the benefit from it. Okay, so we're going to add to that. We're going to add to that pendulum swing, and I'm going to start with the inward again. And we're going to add what's called a front circle. So still, again, it's going inward, it's dropping inward. And now, when I come to the center, I'm going to do a circle. So a front circle. And notice when I drop, I'm kind of looking in the direction where my club is moving. Change hands. Inward circle. Make sure. Now I'm not counting, so I could be off of how many that I'm doing, but keep it even to both sides. When you're working with two clubs, you don't have to maybe think about that as much, but I like to do everything the same as I go. So inward, front, circle. Okay. Switch hands, and where do we go next? Of course, we're going to the outward front circle. And try to, and everyone's going to be a little bit different where they're at mobility-wise, but if you notice, I'm keeping the club as close to my body. I'm keeping it in this plane as I can. And there's some other nuances and stuff as you advance that you can certainly start building on, and straight arm, bent arm, and some different things with these circles to keep it on either a frontal or a sagittal plane as you're going through this movement. So we have inward front circles. Now notice I'm going a little bit more brisk with it. Outward front circles. So what I just did is a little transition there, which I'm not going to go into, but so when you come to switch, you can stop and then just switch until you learn different transitions. And you don't have to learn transitions. You don't have to learn this stuff. Like I said, it doesn't have to be so complex. Just get the club swinging. Try to make it nice and smooth, nice and pretty. And start adding it into your pre-workout, post-workout, some chunks off through the day. Indian clubs offer a lot of other benefits as well. They're very mentally stimulating. There's a lot of other pieces to that to the puzzle as well as you start going and learning some more advanced stuff. So those are circles on the frontal plane. So what I'm going to do is very easy. I'm going to go to the side, and same thing. I'm going to start with a pendulum swing on the sagittal plane. So notice I'm turning in that direction. I'm trying to keep, like there's a plate glass here, and I can't go out any farther. Now, depending where you're at, mobility, range of motion and stuff, maybe it'll be a little bit less. Maybe you'll have to come out a little bit more. Maybe you can stay in a little bit closer than me. But that's what we're working on. Nice, smooth, swinging motions, letting that club pull me, turn. Cool. So now, whoop. Try not to mess up, Eric, right? So, every time I come to the side, I'm putting a circle. So, and of course, you're going to the other side and redoing that on the other side as well. So, you know, just putting these few things, you don't even have to string them together, transition, stuff like that. Putting these couple things will give you some great shoulder girdle health. They give you some, you know, hopefully it'll open up some range of motion for you. You know, so many people, I hear so much, you know, those shoulders are delicate. So I highly recommend keeping just a light set of Indian club swing in your diet. If you like them and you enjoy them, I definitely recommend you know, learning more and more. It's an almost lost art that we hope to keep going. So if you're interested in learning any more, or you know, getting a little more Indian club, getting a little more in depth with the Indian club, please let me know. You can email me at info@qkettlebellclub.com. Facebook, all your social medias, you can find me there, either under Q Kettlebell Facebook or social media, or Eric Reyelt, R-E-Y-E-L-T. All right, thanks guys, and I will see you guys next week with another Workout Tip Tuesday. Have a good rest of your day.